I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on providing solutions to some international test papers. Here I've picked up Mathematics A foundation level test paper, which is Cambridge International. This test paper is good for all students up to grade 8. We are going to solve questions related to number systems, pattern rules, integers, bed mass, order of operation, word problems, probability, and transformation of objects. So let's go through these questions one by one. Now this is the formula sheet given to you. So from the formula sheet you can make out what are important topics for this level of testing, right? So Pythagorean theorem, area of trapezoid, Pythagorean theorem, trigonometry, then working with the volume 3D figures, right, and area and circumference of circle, right. Here is question number 1. So there are in all 20 questions. We will start with question number 1. The diagram shows a shape on a centimeter grid. Find the area of the shape. Now to find the area, you can pause the video, answer this question, then look into my solutions. So let's go through the questions. So the other questions are to find the perimeter of the shape, write down the order of rotational symmetry of the shape, and on the shape draw all the lines of symmetry. Correct? So these are the 4 parts to your question. Let's answer them one by one. So the very first one is to find the area of the shape. You need to count the squares, and the unit is centimeters. So it's good practice to write units also. Fortunately, you are actually given units here, centimeter square, along wherever you have to write the answer, right? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we get 16 centimeter square is already mentioned. Then we need to find the perimeter. That means you start from a point. Let's say you start from here, right? So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 1, 26. So write down your answer 26 at the given space. Next one is write down the order of symmetry. So when we talk about order of rotational symmetry, it's kind of important to understand order of rotational symmetry, right? Now, rotational symmetry really means that within 0 to 360 degrees, that means one full rotation, how many positions are there when you get exactly the same shape, right? So one could be if you rotate it like 90 degrees, right? So if you rotate it 90 degrees, then you might get right, or what? So what you have here is, if you do rotation symmetry, then what you get, these are the two axes about which this is symmetrical, right? So that is part D. But anyway, as far as the rotational symmetry is concerned, in this particular figure, we have rotation symmetry of 2, right? So that is to say, you have to rotate it 180 degrees and then one full circle, correct? So then you get the rotation symmetry, and the answer is 2. So the order of rotation symmetry is 2. Part D is on the shape, draw all the lines of symmetry. Well, the lines of symmetry which I drawn earlier, vertical line symmetric about, and then this horizontal line is also a line of symmetry for the given figure. So these are the 2 lines of symmetry, right? So we have 2 lines of symmetry here, which you could mention, but drawing was essential. Now let's look into question number 2, which is the table shows the weights of 7 animals, right? So this is column for animals, their weight. Which of these animals has the greatest weight? Write the number 2506 in words, write down the value of 7 in the number 2371. Well, the other questions are related to information. Well, some of them are related to the table. Let me read them all. Write the number 1154 correct to the nearest 100. Which number in the table is a multiple of 5? And then the last question here is, work out the difference between the weight of giraffe and the weight of buffalo. So let's answer these questions one by one. The very first one is, which of these animals has the greatest weight? So all are given in kg. We have to only figure out which is the highest number. Well, the highest number here is 8491. So which of these has the greatest weight? It is elephant. So our answer here is elephant. Second question is, write the number 2506 in words, right? So the number 2506 is 2506. So we write this as 2000. Now, here is an option. Some places do not write and, some places do. So what I will do here, so 2500 I could have written 6 or and 6, right? So these that is optional, right? Is that clear? You may or may not write and, it means the same thing, and both are correct. C. Write on the value of 7 in the number 2370. So place value is 10, so this number is 70. Write the number 1154 correct to nearest 100. So we have to round it to nearest 100. You need to check the number next to it. So 10th number is 5 or more. We'll round higher. So we get 1200. The next question is, which number in the table is multiple of 5? Multiples of 5 means they should end with 5 or 0. So the number which ends with 5 here is 785. So that is the number which is multiple of 5. Clear? So let's write down that answer, which is 785. The last question is, work out the difference between the weight of giraffe and the weight of buffalo. So let's work out here weight of giraffe and weight of buffalo. So buffalo is 851, giraffe is 1391. So it is 1391, take away 851. Okay. So when you take away, you get 4 here, and then 13 gives you 5, right? So get 540, right? So the answer here is, which we'll write lower. Let me just finish it off by writing here 540, right? The units are kg, which is good to mention. So I hope with this, the solution to that question is absolutely clear. Perfect. Now let's take question number 3. Here are first 5 terms of a number sequence, 3, 10, 17, 24, 31. Write down the next 2 terms of the sequence. Okay, so next 2 terms, 3, 10, 17. So we see that it's going up by 7, right? So you add 7 to get to the next term. So the next 2 terms, just add 7 to them and you can write down the answer. 31 plus 7 is 38, right? And 38 plus 7 is 45. So that is how we'll get the next 2 terms. So the next 2 terms are 38 and 45. Now explain how you worked out your terms, right? So the rule, pattern rule, is add 7 to the previous number. Is that clear? So that is your pattern rule. We also mentioned this as iterative rule, right? So by iteration. So you keep on repeating the same process, keep on adding 7. Now, the question is, work out the 18th term of the sequence. Now see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7th term. You could add up to 18th term and get your answer. But now we'll actually find an explicit rule, right? So here is a deviation. We are now looking for an explicit rule. That will be better, right? So let us see how to develop a pattern rule from the given information. We are multiplying by, we are adding 7 each time. So that means adding 7 5 times means 5 times 7 is added. You see that? So you're multiplying by 7. So the rule could be related with 7, right? So that is one way to look into it. So I'll show you two methods of writing explicit rule. So let me write method 1 and then method 2. Now this exercise is a learning exercise, and that is why I'm taking opportunity to explain. Now here the first term is 3, right, which we say first term, which let's write it A is 3. Common difference, we call this D. Let this be a variable D, is 7, right? You are adding 7 each time. So the next term you get by adding multiples of 7, right? So nth term, Tn, will be basically the first term. You can write this as also T1, the first term, right? Or in this formula, I'll write A plus n minus 1 times T. Because, see, moving from first term, this is your first term, this is the second, this is the third. In third term, you added only 2 7s, not 3. 1 less than 3. Do you see that? Then 1 less than 4. So n minus 1 makes it 1 less. So in our case, the nth term will be A is 3 plus n minus 7. You could actually multiply, rearrange. So you get 7 times n minus 7. Or you can write this as 7n minus 4. So you get your formula. Now this formula helps you to find the direct answer. You get the idea, right? Now the calculator is allowed sometimes for such questions. You could use calculator also. Now here is my shortcut method. Since I know that I have to multiply by 7 anyway, so I write my formula kind of direct. I want to find the second term, right? So I say 7 times 2 is 14. How do I get 10? Well, I have to take away 4 to get 10. So I have my rule. So my rule is 7 times the number of term minus 4. Do you see from logic? Again, this is my fourth term, right? I know I have to add 7s. I don't know how many. So 7 times 4 is 28. But I have 24. If I take away 4, I get 24. So I get my rule. So nth term is 7 times the number minus 4. So similarly, if I have to get the 18th term, in that case, what should I do? I'll write T18 as 7 times 18 minus 4. Does make sense to you, right? So let's do it. 7 times 8 is 56, 5. 7 times 1 is 7 and 5 is 12. 126 minus 4 will give us 122. So that becomes our answer. But this method is very good and you can straight away find from the common difference. Is that clear to you, right? Okay. Now, part D is work out the 34th term of the sequence. So you can apply this formula and work it out. You can apply that formula also. Both are same, right? So we write the 34th term. Okay, here we have something else. The 35th term of the sequence is 241. Sorry, I didn't read this. The 35th term is 241. Work out the 34th term, right? So we know 35th term is 241. We need to find 34th term. So I'll do just minus 7 to get my answer. Previous, correct? Previous term. So that's an easy way. So 11 take away 7 is 4 and then we get 2, 3, 1. So that will be my answer, right? 234. However, you could have used the explicit formula. So let us check our formula now. So what we will do here is we'll multiply 35, work out the 34th term. So 7 times 34 and then do minus 4. Okay, 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 2 is 23. From here we'll take away 4. So what do we get? We get 234. Correct? The same answer. So the formula is absolutely correct. Now for some students this is taught in higher levels. So therefore in this test paper we are working with iterative rule formula. Perfect. So I hope by now things are absolutely clear about the solutions given. Here is question number 4. So here is a bar graph which you need to study and answer the questions below. Question number 4. The bar chart shows information about the number of league titles won by each of the 5 football clubs up to 2016. So number of league titles, and these are different football clubs, right? Related to this, we have 3 questions. A. Write down the number of league titles won by Aston Villa. Our son has won 13 league titles. Draw a bar on the bar chart to show this information. Alex says the number of league titles won by Manchester City is 1/4 of the number of league titles won by Manchester United. Explain why Alex is wrong. So let's look into these solutions one by one. You can always answer them. Okay, so the very first one is write down the number of league titles won by Aston Villa. Now, so this is Aston Villa and that is the number of titles. It is a value right there between 6 and 8. So it is 7, right? So that is answer 7. Now we are given that Arsenal has won 13 league titles. So we have to show 13 here for Arsenal. So 13 is a point which is between 12 and 14, so somewhere here. So whenever we have to draw a bar graph, width should be same. So that is kind of very important to understand. And this distance should also be same, correct? So we mark like this and let's make a bar here on the right side and same width, right? So that is kind of important to understand. Same width, use a scale, and that becomes the bar for Arsenal, and that says 13, right? So this goes here, 13. Then we have Alex says the number of league titles won by Manchester City is 1/4 of the number of league titles won by Manchester United. Let's figure it out. Well, Manchester United is 20, right? So let me write 20 here, and Manchester City is 4. Now, what is the ratio? So ratio is 4 divided by 20, which is same as 1/5, correct? So it is not 1/4, but it is 1/5, right? So we can say, well, this is 1/5. Explain why Alex is wrong, right? So it is 1/5. It is 1/5, not 1/4, right? Since we can write down the calculation which we did just now, 4/20 is 1/5. Is that clear to you, right? So that is how you could explain the answer. Now this is part D of our question number 4. The question is, find the ratio of number of league titles won by Manchester United to the number of league titles won by Preston North End. Give your answer in its simplest form, right? So let's look into this. Manchester United, we figured out it is 20. Now, what is Preston North End? So Preston North End is 2, right? So that is what it is. So the ratio is 20 to 2, right? So we can now provide the solution here. Find the ratio of number of league titles won by Manchester United. So winnings by Manchester United divided by winnings by Preston North End, which is 20 over 2 and is 10, right? So in the simplest form, it is 10, correct? So that is how we can answer this question. Now the next question is for you to solve. We'll take a break at this stage and then after the break we'll provide you solutions. Question number 5 is, here are the numbers of runs scored by cricket players in each of the 9 games of cricket: 13, 89, 36, 84, 55, 40, 22 and 16. Find the median number of runs and work out the range. Perfect. So we'll continue from here after a break. Thank you.